Hey there, everybody. Praying that all is well with everybody. Just wanted to come on here and just give a little review of my thoughts of this last decade of my life, things that I have experienced, gone through, seen, watched. I've been through a lot in this last decade, and for those that don't know what decade means, look it up. Let's broaden our vocabulary, and it has taught me a lot. And just the other day I was just sitting here just jotting down things that I have dealt with or is still dealing with, and or I have gone through just to make up the last decade of my life. So I just figure I'll share. A lot of times people say, oh, you don't have Facebook, people can't get in contact with you. How people supposed to know who you are? It's easy. It's ways to find out who a person is, how to get to know somebody. I tell people all the time, Facebook, I don't need it because my face is a book and it's hard to try to read it, because everything you see on my face doesn't mean that's what's really going on inside. Facebook tells you everything, and I don't believe in I'm not putting my business out there so for people to pray on it, and not pray to go before the Father, but pray on it when you see me, think you have a word from the Lord, and you didn't really have a word from the Lord. You just try to read into too much. So not to go into too much detail, but just give a roundabout observation and a roundabout summary of my last decade. Here we go. There's a lot about myself that makes me question so many things. Life has tossed me many hurricanes in these last 10 years. Some that I have went through and come out of, and some that I have still in the very midst of the storm. Brokenness is hard to survive off of because it is hard to envision what pieces would form back together. I feel torn apart in so many ways. Words can't seem to form in my thoughts just for me to explain. I have lost some very influential and important people in my life within 10 years, and 2 of those people I lost this year. This grief journey has not been easy. Crying is a natural body expression of emotion. My tears have dropped in large puddles because I miss these individuals. Who would have ever thought I would be in this situation currently? This hasn't been easy. These were staple pillars in my life, whom in which shape needs to be the person I am, naturally and spiritually, today. Outwardly, I will try to show what the inner me is feeling. And sometimes I can't. So often I see myself asking people how they are doing, and most times I don't even get that same question in return, especially with sincere inquiry rather than being nosy. I love the fact that I know God and have my own relationship with Him, because if I didn't, I truly wonder where I would be if I listened to my mind and not the voice of the Lord. There are some things I have accomplished in 10 years, but a lot more things that I haven't, and I wish I did. I know things are all in God's timing and not ours. I am willing to accept the fact that some things are not meant to take place at the times that we want. I'm grateful for some of my accomplishments, what I did have. I am thankful to God for graduating from college, my job, getting a driver's license, and I know a lot of people think that New Yorkers don't need a driver's license, but my driver's license, purchasing my own car, and I did that with the help of God and God alone. In these last 10 years, 3 different people have entrusted me with the responsibility of being the godmother to their children, and I count that as an honor and a privilege that I do not take lightly, and I love my godchildren as if they were my own biological children. These are just to name a couple of things. Within this decade, I was blessed with a precious little boy. I never stopped serving God during the months of me carrying him to present day. I didn't stop attending church either. Even the more I prayed over my unborn child that God will cover him with his blood, to give him a heart that desires God. Well, I got exactly what I asked for, literally. My son has been my constant in these last 9 years. Raising him on my own has been a lesson to learn quickly. Never would I have imagined that I would need to do it on my own, but at the end of the day, I know God was there all along when others were not. I nicknamed my son Simba because it fits his life circumstance so great. It's almost like Jesus' situation, not to necessarily compare them or make it equal. Jesus came into his own, and they received him not. My son was in the same boat, and so was the character Simba in The Lion King. At the end of it all, Jesus was something great, and Simba was something great. Those that denied Jesus and Simba at the end of it eventually needed them both. One day, those that denied my son and whatnot will need him one day. And I truly believe that. He is something little that will turn into something great. I would encourage those in the same boat, don't get discouraged. Just wait on God. Lean and depend on God. Ty's birth has helped me to grow on all levels. Even though he is so young, I know he is my support system like I am for him. My little man encourages me in so many ways. I'm so proud of him. He is an old man trapped inside a child's body. If you know him personally, you would have to agree. I wouldn't say it's been super easy, but I know it hasn't been super hard. God has provided for him in all aspects. My boy knows the exact time to say when I need to hear for that moment in time. He has wiped many tears off my face and brought gladness to my heart as well. I thank God for allowing him to be academically above average. I'm godly proud of all his accomplishments. I have worked hard with him and on him so he will never be behind. I have tried to push him to be the best. Didn't want his environment to dictate how he would turn out. Oftentimes, society will have one to believe that a child that doesn't have a one-unit family structure can't be great. Wrong. That's one conversation I make sure to have with God. Never let him lack because of what he's out of his hands and that he has no control over. I love the fact that music is something he desires. My brothers have really nurtured him. Ty watches them closely to mimic how they play. That is nothing but God. He desires to be a preacher. What more can I ask for? Not something that I have forced, but something that he has sought after. That's a beautiful feeling. The love he has for God and church is beyond this world. I'm grateful for my family's support with him. My help from my family has carried me to this point with my son. I don't rely on them, but I appreciate them. That I really can say. I appreciate my family. My son would never have to lack as long as Michael, Hattie, Michael, and Maurice are still living, and I know that. I have to include my auntie, Papa, and his other favorite lady, Mama. In addition to my grandmother that just went to be with the Lord. The time they make to be a presence in Tyler's life is undescribable. My father and brothers have been that male role model he can look up to daily without questioning and go to for advice and questions. My mom is his world or he is her world. Either way it goes, they are just the two of them, and this is their world. They're inseparable. The bond between them are beyond this world, one that can't be broken. I am also thankful for his Godfather, for being there for him daily, no matter the time or day. He has been a major help to us, whether it was words of encouragement to Ty or myself, financial assistance, an ear to hear, giving advice, coming to visit us, making time in his busy schedule, never giving reason why he cannot make time, but always find the time. That says a lot about a person, especially one that is always busy and on the go, that lives miles and hours away. So for that, you are more than just a friend to me and a godfather to my son. You have helped fill in a void. When one could think that love is real and realize it's not what's being portrayed, it becomes toxic to the mind. I have endured what a broken heart feels like. I have experienced moments of lavish and love. Don't get me wrong. When it was good, it was good. I promise you it was good when it was good. It did not last long, no. I know what it feels like to love on someone and it's no longer reciprocated. I've watched and experienced high times come down to the lowest moments. Life circumstances shows people true colors, who they really are down inside. Also, how they feel about you. Who is the you? That's me, the individual. When things are tossed at a person unexpectedly, oftentimes we don't know how to face them. I truly believe it's because we do not go to God in prayer. We are so much more worried about what man will say rather than is God satisfied with me. I have witnessed personally what broken people can do to each other when they are not happy. I have been a vault of secrets, lies, and betrayal for so many people, whether it was knowingly or unknowingly, voluntarily or involuntarily. The stuff I know, if I was to expose, could trample lives, but my godly conscience wouldn't even allow me to dare to do so. So for that, I keep it silent, tucked away, and between me and the Lord. I am one to be that listening ear and shoulders to lean and cry on, the safe haven for many. In this decade, I have watched God test my faith numerous of times. I'm glad that I have a prayer life. I know how to go before God in prayer. Never once did I ever think to charge God foolishly and question his motives. Watching both my parents be healed from sicknesses and diseases that others have died from is nothing short of amazing. God has proven to me time and time again that he is a healer of all our diseases. Who wouldn't want to serve a God like this? I am so thankful to God that he spared all our lives back in 2013 when the van flipped over on the road heading to Lexington, Kentucky in the dark mountains. God's blood reached us in the highest mountain and kept us from going over into the lowest valley. 8 of us walked out that van with a true testimony of how God delivers and keeps us. Who wouldn't want to serve a God like this? It's so hard to put my trust in someone or something. This is why I work hard to make sure that I am a trustworthy person. I have had people come and go in my life within these 10 years. I have rekindled friendships and ended friendships. I have met new people and let people go. I was once told by a very, 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 very wise man to be useful but not to be used. I have allowed myself to be useful, but crazy enough, I have been used. This is going to stop as soon as possible. The backstabbing, tension, discord, foolishness, phoniness, hypocrisy, lies, lust, betrayal, envy, malice, and whatever else I have seen in church within this decade from those that claim to have the Spirit of God or have the form of godliness but doesn't possess the power thereof, truly. It can cause me to turn away from church, but I never allowed myself to run away. Satan will use anything to distract us. Anything. One has to remember church is filled with all types of people. No, I have not lived a perfect or spotless life within these 10 years. Trust me, I haven't. This is why I search myself and ask God daily to create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. I know everything I think isn't what pleases God. This is why I need God to regulate my mind, to talk to my mind, to fix my mind. Because this evil mind I had, I want that mind to be gone. This decade has brought me over to where I am now. It's my job to grow from this and allow it to be my constant reminder of where God has brought me from. Now it's my time to polish my image of me. KSE. That's all I wanted to say. Keep me in prayer. Just remember, we all have gone through something, but that something will bring you to present day. And it's time for me just to polish me up, change, creating me that real clean heart, you know. I don't want to just say it and not mean it. It's time for me to put it in action. It's time for me to do what I have to do for myself. But most of all, do whatever is right and pleasing in God's sight. So, through my ups and my downs and through my trials and tribulations and whatnot, one thing I know for sure, I would never, ever, ever blame God. I would never, ever blame God. Because He does all things well. I would never, ever blame God. Some things I never thought I would go through, that I went through, and I'm still going through. But never would I ever blame God. I just find it as a learning lesson and a test. So, keep me in your prayers. Thank God for this decade. Because this decade has brought me to this present day. Alright, check you later.